So the big question is this: how are everyday people like us, who didn't get born with a silver spoon in our mouths, who are struggling every day to pay our bills, how do we gain the financial freedom to live life on our terms? Start getting our money to work for us rather than having to work for our money, and yet still be able to enjoy our free time? That is the question, and this show will give you the answer. Hi guys, thanks again for joining me out here on the Financial Freedom Show. So today I wanted to talk to you about the number one thing that you can do to increase your sales. So I remember when I first started out, one of the most devastating things, you go out, you do all the work, you get the leads coming into your business, you get somebody to be able to talk to you, you're talking to them, and you know that your product, your service is good for them, it's a perfect match, they want it, they need it, they're excited about it, and then you get to the time, you tell them how much it's going to cost, you ask them to pay for it, and it gets to the, oh, well, I just don't have time for that right now, maybe next week. Or, I gotta talk to my spouse, my wife, my husband, or, I don't have the money for that right now. And, you go from being super excited, getting ready to be able to help somebody and getting, a little bit of extra money for yourself and being able to, think about all those exciting things that you're going to be able to do with this extra new client, and to your heart just dropping, and you feel it in your throat, and you don't know what to say, and it stops right there, and you tell them goodbye, you hang up, and you maybe follow up with them the next week or the next week after that, and it's the same story. And so this is a problem that a lot of people run into when it comes to sales. And so how do you deal with that? How do you deal with somebody who wants and needs your service, they're excited about it, but when you go to, they have that objection? How do you stop those objections from happening? Well, first off, those objections are always going to happen. It's actually been shown that most people will object to a sale 13 times before they actually purchase. So understanding what those objections are and how to deal with them is the most important thing that you can do to be able to increase your sales. So the very first step that I always do when dealing with an objection is thank the person, because they're giving you everything that you need to know to be able to help them out. So what an objection really is they're asking a question. They're saying a statement. They're saying, I'm not sure. So for example, if you really listen to what the objection is and what they have to say, then what you'll realize is that that's what they're doing. And so, for example, when my clients, they tell me, I don't want to, I got to talk to my spouse first. What I hear is not, what they said on the surface level, but what they're really saying. So what are they really saying when they say they want to talk to their spouse? Well, what they're saying is, if I spent that kind of money and, my spouse didn't support me, that might hurt my relationship. And so I don't want to do that. And so if you can quell that concern, if you can make it so that concern's not a thing, then you can get the sale. And so after you listen to what they have to say, and that's the next step, so that's the most personal. The first step, thank, they're giving you everything you need, they're being vulnerable with you, so you got to thank them for that. And then listen to what they have to say, and then you're going to agree with them. That concern is a real concern. Regardless of whether or not you think it's a concern, they think it's a concern. So by agreeing with them and validating them, you show them you listen. You can even, repeat it back to them in your own words and say, this is what I heard. Am I right? And that's often what I'll say to my clients. I'm hearing that you're concerned that if you spend that kind of money and your wife, your husband doesn't support you, that you're going to be in trouble. I know if I spent that kind of money and my wife didn't support me, it would cause a fight. There would be some trouble in the house, and I don't want to do that to you, etc. And then you want to overturn it. You want to find out why it's not a thing. And what I usually do is I say, something along the lines of, if you go to your spouse, your husband, your wife, they don't follow up there, they don't support you, they don't agree with you, let me know. I'll answer any questions they might have if you want, personally. And if they still want them, they still don't agree with it, I'll give you your money back. You don't need to worry about it. So risk-free for you, make it risk-free for them, etc. So if you can stop that concern from being a concern, and the person actually wants what you have to offer, that's how you get the sale. And so the most important thing is that what you have to realize is those objections will come over and over and over again. Again, most people object 13 times before they actually purchase something. And so what your job is to answer all those questions. So as you're going through, as you're talking to them, as you know, every time you finish up and you say, okay, so that's not a concern anymore. This is how this is how much it is. Are you ready to move forward? And if they are ready to move forward, fantastic. If they're not ready to move forward, and they give you another objection, repeat the same process. And so to give you kind of an example, more of a live example, one of the objections that I get all the time, is I don't have enough money, or I don't have the money right now. And what they're really saying, or what I'm really hearing when people tell me that they don't have the money, is that they don't believe what I have to offer is valuable. They don't believe what I have to offer is going to be worth the money. And so that's a valid concern. And so, thank you very much. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you for bringing that up. And, I really agree. It's very difficult in especially today's economy to be able to have the money to just kind of spend willy-nilly on whatever it is that you want. And, a lot of people out there suffering, they're having hard times. And I remember being in that situation. I remember being in a situation where I couldn't hardly afford anything. And, I really had to pick and choose exactly what it is that was going to be valuable to me. But what you have to realize, and here's the thing though, is that this isn't an expense. This is an investment. This is something that's going to, improve your life and make your life better. And it's going to be something that really increases the value of your life overall. And so, if all I did was be able to make you get your first client, and you were able to show yourself that it was possible and really be able to start your business on a good footing, wouldn't that be worth it to you? Exactly. And if all I did was be able to make it so that way, you were able to actually get your business off the ground and start making a good income and be able to realistically not have to make those tough decisions anymore, wouldn't that be worth it? Exactly. All right. So, this is how much I charge. This is how I accept payment. You're ready to move forward. And then, usually again, there's going to be some other kind of objection behind that. Got to talk to my spouse, etc. And you really just need to figure out what they're actually asking, what their actual concern is, and stop it from being a concern. If you can stop it from being a concern, if you can answer their questions, if you can calm their mind, then they're gonna, if you're doing it right and you're talking to the right people and they want what you have to offer and you can answer all their questions, they have no choice but to give you money. That's really what it comes down to. And then as long as you on the back end are doing what you said or promised that you were going to do, then you won't be having to give those refunds and you'll be able to really exponentially take off your business. So hopefully this helps you out very much. This is, when I first learned the objection dance, it really exponentially increased my sales. I went from closing, maybe 1 out of 10 people that I talked to closing 9 out of 10 people I talked to. So this is extremely powerful. If you found it valuable, make sure to go ahead and give us a like, subscribe to the channel if you want to hear more more stuff like this. Share it with your friends if you think your friends would find it valuable. Other than that, I'll talk to you next time. Have a good day.